Hello, and welcome to NBA Fantasy Focus for the recap on Wednesday, October 23rd. We had an action-packed Wednesday, 10 games to review. Let's get right into it with the Pacers and Pistons. Miles Turner has a big game. He comes through. He has 20 points, 9 boards, 4 dimes, 4 blocks, and 3 3-pointers. Tyrese Halliburton wasn't his usual assist machine self, but he had his teammates pick up the slack. We had Pascal Siakam had 19 points, 9 boards, 8 dimes, 8 boards, I should say, 2 steals, just filled it up, had a tray. So Pascal is just loving life there. And, he's fit right into this team. And that was the big fantasy news on the Pacers. Let's take a look at the Pistons. They were in this game for most of the ball game, but at the end, they just couldn't come through. Pacers showed their playoff grit. Cade did his thing. He had 28, 5 boards, 8 dimes, 2 threes. Got off to a bit of a slow start, but he picked it up. He was doing his thing. Jalen Duren, his usual double-double, 13 and 13. No defensive stats, though. I would like to see that go up. And, Tobias Harris got off to a nice start, but he just disappeared in the second half. So not the greatest news for Tobias. Timmy Hardaway came in. He had 4 trays, so I believe I streamed him in a couple of spots there, and I was pretty happy with that. So that's that for that game. And moving along, we're going down to ATL. It was Trey and gang going up against Brooklyn. This was a pretty tight game. Brooklyn stayed in it as much as they could. Big game from, you guessed it, Trae Young. 30 points, 12 dimes, double-double. I believe he's like 6th all-time in 30-point double-doubles, just behind Luka. He had a steal, a block just for good measure. He had a shitload of free throws, which you love to see. ATL, they're scoring a lot of points. Big game by Dyson Daniels, so that was nice to see. Brooklyn, Dennis Schroeder and Cam Johnson were okay, but nothing special. But Cam Thomas, man, that was impressive what he did. Big game. 36 points, 27 shots, 5 boards, 3 dimes, 3 steals. Who would have thought that? He had 7 dimes. But other than that, Brooklyn didn't look all that great. ATL, I was saying Dyson Daniels had 5 steals and a block. Wow, he was a great late round pick. I got him in a couple of spots. Onyeka Okongwu just went off 11 of 12, 28 and 8, 3 blocks. I got him for $2 in one of my auction leagues, so I am loving that. And it was a close game, and ATL is going to be involved in a lot of shootouts, so watch out for them. Brooklyn, Claxton got ejected, I think, in the third quarter. He came off the bench. Looked okay, but I think they're just warming him up, ramping him up for the rest of the season. So no injuries or pickups from that game that I can think of. And we'll move along to Orlando in Miami. Let's take a look at this game. This was pretty close for most of the affair until the third quarter. Orlando just stomped Miami. Man, a lot of stinkers for the Heat. But Paulo, man, he balled out 33, 11, double-double, 3 dimes, a steal, a block, 4 3-pointers, no turnovers. Anyone that has Paulo on the squad is loving that. Franz Wagner, slouch himself. He had his 23, 4 boards, 4 dimes, 2 steals, a block, 3 3-pointers in only 23 minutes. I believe Jalen Suggs got in a little bit of foul trouble, but everything else was roses for Orlando. Moving along to Miami. Bam with a stinker. 7 of 10 free throws. Scary Terry had a nice game, which was nice to see for people who grabbed him late in fantasy picks. 19, 6 and 5, 2 blocks. Jimmy Butler, big time stinker. I don't know what to say. Jimmy's trying to get paid this year. It's a contract year. Not the best start, but yes, Scary Terry had his thing. 19 points, 6 boards, 5 dimes, 2 blocks, 2 trays. So props to Terry on that game. Not much else to say about Miami. You got to just chalk this one up as one of those games you just throw out the window. And Orlando just dominated. And Orlando was actually a dog in this game, which was very surprising. And yeah, so let's move along. Milwaukee hosting Philadelphia. This was the primetime game. No Embiid, no PG, and Milwaukee took care of biz. Giannis did his thing. He stepped up, had 25, 14, 7 dimes. Not too many defensive stats, and 9 of 16 from the free throw line. Kind of sucks for Giannis, but it is what it is when you draft Giannis. So good job for him. Dame, man, trying to bounce back from last year. 30 points, 9 boards, 6 dimes, and his usual 6 trays. So Dame balled out there. Philadelphia, this was just a horrible affair for them. They did not show up at all. Maxey got his, but it was inefficient. Brook Lopez had 10 points, 8 boards, 6 dimes, 6 blocks. Might be a sell high opportunity would be my suggestion. Drummond had his 10 and 13 for the 76ers. No defensive stats, which is a little disappointing from Drum. Maxey took 31 shots to get his 25 points. Only 3 dimes, 2 trays. Kelly Oubre had 20 points, but nothing much to write home about fantasy-wise. So you got to expect for Philadelphia to step up in the next game. And Milwaukee moves on with a nice road victory. And they're looking good so far. And let's move along to, all right, Cleveland visiting the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors a little beat up. RJ Barrett did not play in this one, and they did have an injury to Emmanuel Quickly. He was playing really well, and he has a hip issue. That's not great for owners of Emmanuel Quickly, who took him in the top 50. Evan Mobley, on the other hand, had no problems. He balled out. He had a big game. 25, 8 boards, 3 dimes, 2 blocks, 3 steals out of 3. Big year coming from Evan Mobley. Jared Allen, no slouch himself, had 4 blocks, big game for himself. And Don Mitchell filled up the stat sheet like Don Mitchell usually does. 21, 3 boards, 3 dimes, a couple of trays, some threes, and had a block just to add to the mix. Scotty Barnes, not the best game, but expect him to bounce back when the Raptors are a little bit more healthy. Cleveland shows their dominance, and new coach, great start for them. Garland had a little bit of foul trouble, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. And easy victory, and they move on, and we move along to the next game. And moving along to the Hornets, visiting the Rockets, the return of LaMelo Ball. And LaMelo Ball does not disappoint. Wow, Melo, 34. Pretty good shooting, 8 boards, double-double with 11 dimes, had a steal, had a block, 4 threes. Balls out. Everyone who took him in the early second, mid-second, good sign so far. Not the best news for the Hornets, though. Brandon Miller left the game, I believe, in the first quarter. Another hip issue. A lot of hip issues going around in the NBA right now. And Hornets sneak out the victory there. They come back. Miles Bridges, 10 and 9, not the best game. And I think Trey Mann stepped up on the bench. Yes, he did. 24 and 6 for trays, so he could be an option to pick up somebody. And Houston, they gagged this one, but it was not because of Alperen Sengun. this man balled out. He had, I think, a double-double in the first quarter, I believe it was. He had 25, 18, 5 dimes, 4 steals. Wow, from a big man. Threw in a block, 2 trays. Had a few turnovers, but who gives a shit? He just dominated. And we had Jalen Green at 28 points, 5 trays. Fred VanVleet, not the best shooting, but he pitched in 14 and 6 for 2 steals, 2 trays. And the Rockets, not the best outing, but good props to Charlotte. They stepped up, and we're going to move along to the next affair. All right. Bulls visiting the Zionless Pelicans. Bulls, they just got run over in the second half. They were trying to be competitive. Zach LaVine did his thing. He had 27, 5 trays, 3 dimes, 5 trays, as I said, 5 boards, I should say. Vooch, he does his thing like Vooch usually does. Not the most exciting numbers, but Vooch had his double-double. Everyone else from Chicago, mediocre. Giddy, 14 and 5, 3 dimes. And Kobe White, disappointing. Did have 8 boards and 6 dimes. 4-13 shooting is not the greatest. And for the Pelicans, they did win the game, but they did lose to DeJounte. He will be out. More on that later. Brandon Ingram did his thing, though. He had 33, 7 boards, 2 dimes, 2 steals, a block, 3 3-pointers. Probably won't be this good, but when DeJounte and Zion are back in the lineup, but still a great sign. Pelicans looking good. Herb Jones had some foul trouble, and DeJounte will be out probably 3-4 weeks, they're saying, with fractured hand, but he did his thing, double-double, 14 and 10, 8 boards. I saw DeJounte getting more boards, more dimes this year, less points, so looking on that, but unfortunate injury for DeJounte. And we will move on to the next game. And next up, we have Memphis in Utah. This was a back and forth seesaw affair. Memphis and gang, they take it out at the end. Ja, double-double, 22 points, 8 of 9 from the free throw lines. Nice to see the 10 dimes, 5 boards, a steal to measure. And wow, Santi, where did this guy come from? 27, 5 boards, 5 trays, 2 dimes. I did stream him in a few spots, but obviously I wasn't expecting this. We have Zach Edey. He got into foul trouble. He fouled out. He only had 5 and 5, 1 and 5 from the free throw lines. Disappointing. Desmond Bane, usual solid game, 24 points, 4 boards, 4 dimes, 4 trays, 4 from the free throw line. A lot of 4s from Desmond. And they pull out the victory. We look at what the Utah Jazz did. Big game from Laurie, 35. He had his 9 boards, 2 dimes, 4 threes. Great shooting as usual from Laurie. Walker Kessler, a man a lot of people paid a hefty price for as he moved up in draft ranks, probably from 120 to like 60, 70 range. 16 points, 14 boards, 1 dime, 1 steal, and 5 big swats. Everybody loves to see that from Walker. So nice job by him. Hopefully it keeps up. I do have him in, I believe, 1 spot. Sexton, 16, 3 and 2, no trays. Keontae had a bad shooting night. Did have 7 dimes, but I look for that to turn around for George. Taylor Hendricks, 2 steals and a block, was nice to see. And we're going to move along to the next affair here. Okay, and moving along to probably the game of the night. This was the Suns visiting the Intuit Dome, the brand new stadium. Phoenix takes out the overtime victory, 116-113. Brad Beal, nice start to the year, 24 points. He has 3 boards, a dime, block as well, filled up every cat. 4 threes. He balled out. KD, I think he had 12 points in the fourth quarter. 7 of 9 free throws, 7 boards, 3 steals, a block, 2 trays. So all good for that side. Devin Booker had a little bit of foul trouble. He fouled out. Only took 9 shots. Wouldn't be too concerned. Nice game from Tyus Jones, 11 and 8, 2 steals on a block. Chipped in with a trade. Nurk, 11 and 9, 2 steals. So Suns looking good. The Clippers, it was probably a one-man show there. James Harden, he had 29 on 28 shots. Not the most efficient there. 12 boards, 8 dimes, a tray, 2 trays, and a steal. And not much else you can say about the Clippers fantasy-wise. Zubac did have 21 and 9, no blocks, no steals. And Norm Powell took 16 shots to get 17 points. Not the best. But Clippers are undermanned, obviously, with no Kawhi around. So very, very exciting game. Everyone's talking about the new stadium and Steve Ballmer and all his funkiness. So Golden State visiting Portland. This was a beatdown of epic proportions. I don't think it was as close as the score even shows. Wardell, Steph Curry, 17 points, 9 boards, 10 dimes, just missed his triple-double. He only played like 20-odd minutes. 3 3-pointers. So those who took Steph Curry late first round, early second, are very, very happy about that outcome. Not much else. Wiggins, solid game. Good to see 20 points, 4 boards, 4 trays, not too much else. Kuminga, not the best game. And I think Buddy Hield just went crazy at 22 points in 15 minutes, 5 trays. I would not run out to grab Buddy. I think that is probably more of a one-off. And that's just a blowout for Golden State. Let's take a look at Portland. Balanced affair. Scoot, I thought, played pretty well. 22 points, 7 of 18 field goals, 4 boards, 4 dimes. He's getting to the line a lot, so that is good to see from Scoot. But Portland, they spread it around quite a bit. But fantasy-wise, Ayton got his double-double. Not much else. Abdia, I would say solid, 15 and 7, 2 dimes, 2 steals, 2 blocks. So props to Denny. Jeremy Grant is allergic to rebounds, 16 points. Kamara, I guess you could say solid, 2 steals, 2 trays. Probably a decent streaming option. And Portland looks like a train wreck this year. So anyone who has Portland guys, look for them to probably not be too competitive at the end of the year. They just do not have the weapons. But let's take a look at some of the injury news. We were talking about DeJounte Murray, fractured left hand. He will be out 3 to 4 weeks, maybe 5. We will see. It was on his non-shooting hand, so that's good news. And let's take a look at RJ Barrett. He practiced on Thursday. Not 100% sure if he's going to play Friday, but a great sign. Emmanuel quickly did not practice, so he looks doubtful for Friday's affair. Trey Murphy, he's set to return in, it's going to miss at least 2 more weeks, but let's hope it's just 2 weeks. Pelicans need him as DeJounte's hurt, and this team does not need more injury news. And some good news for the Pelicans. Zion looks like he's good to go ahead of Friday's matchup with Portland. And he do not have DeJounte or Trey Murphy, so they're going to need Zion. And that was our 10-game recap Wednesday. It was action-packed, 10 games, October 23rd here on NBA Fantasy Focus. Please like, please subscribe, please share this with anyone you know, and we will see you next time here on NBA Fantasy Focus. Later.